Okay, we are live. Hello and welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We are continuing our convention series here on LinkedIn Live as well as Facebook and YouTube. And today we are going to be talking about a very special award, an award that many of our owners seek each year, try so very hard to get it because we have such amazing brand ambassadors, but that would be the Brand Ambassador Award. So today I have with me co-owners Adam and Trista Johnson from our Place at Home Woodlands location, as well as Elizabeth Morris, who is their community liaison. So hello and welcome.
Hi.
Hello.
All right. Well, everybody in our system who's literally gunning for this award, they want to know some tips. They want to know some tricks. Other home care companies out there also want to know how can they be better brand ambassadors. So I have some questions for you all to just help us understand what made you so successful in being fantastic at Place at Home brand ambassadors this year. So first, and anyone feel free, please, to take this question, but what do you contribute to your success in winning the award this year?
Well, I think a big piece of it was hiring the right person, finding somebody who aligns with our values, the values of the franchise, who really enjoys this line of work, which I hate calling it work because what we do, but it is a job, but and we are in the business. But we met Elizabeth, kind of networked through the church and came across Elizabeth, who has a long history of working with elders, and she just has a passion for it. And we could see that early on when we met her, and we knew she'd be really helpful in managing our social media and capturing all the fun things that we do to showcase the business. And it's just really been a huge piece of that, is finding the right person to kind of take it on full time so that it's not just an afterthought. It's really kind of documenting what we do every day.
Yeah, I think the theme of the convention this year was. Oh, please go ahead.
Sorry. As you said, it's not an afterthought. It's something I literally do all day long, just scrolling and looking and seeing what's happening. Consistency with this. It doesn't have to be anything specific, but consistency is what brings up the algorithms. It allows people to see, what you're posting out there. So that's consistency is really key about it. It doesn't have to be 3 times a day, because that's kind of overkill, but morning, evening, kind of around dinner time is usually a good time too, or lunchtime, because people are kind of taking a break from work. So sorry, Adam, go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, please. The theme of the convention this year was next level, right? And so early it was Trista and myself kind of rolling with all of these things from a marketing perspective, and we just to kind of build on what Trista said, we wanted to find someone who could take what we started and kind of build it to that next level of success. And so we think Elizabeth was the perfect choice for that.
Well, that's fantastic. And you most certainly have taken your business in just a very short amount of time to the next level. And it sounds like Elizabeth was most certainly a very important piece to that. And, tell me, Tristan, Adam, it's not an easy decision as a new company to bring on a full-time person who's doing your outreach. Your community liaison is what Elizabeth's title is, but marketing, sales, kind of some of the face of that company. What are some things that kind of went into that decision and ultimately led you towards taking that leap?
So when we met Elizabeth, we weren't necessarily looking for a community liaison. We kind of met her, learned about her and her skills, and kind of created a position. And she started very part-time, and then it grew over time to the full-time position that she's now in. So, but we saw the value that it brings, because it was important for us to have somebody focus on that, because we're busy doing all the operational stuff day to day, but we need to set ourselves apart from the other home care providers around here. There's no shortage of home care agencies. And so what really sells us and what we do is we have to get out there and meet people, and they have to understand what makes us different. So it was just really important to have somebody out there full time, just sharing what we do, and she's got a really great positive outlook and energy. So you need to get that out there. You can't just sit behind the desk, hope that it works out and rely on business coming to you. You got to go out in the community.
Yeah, we had the benefit of time. She was willing to bear with us as we kind of grew, and so it was easy for us when we're out in the community with our peers in the industry. Seeing her interact and grow those relationships and really provide value was great to kind of see that live and in color. So when we got to a position where financially and workload wise it made sense and we could afford to bring somebody on, she was the clear choice.
Yeah, well, I mean, congratulations on making that decision. You know, we have locations all across the United States, and definitely those who make that investment in their community liaison position. I think it definitely comes back, tenfold. So, definitely kudos to you both for understanding that right away, and and making that commitment, because definitely not a small decision, right? As a growing company, to be able to bring on someone full time to do that. And speaking of investments, there's something else that you guys have done that from in my eyes has seemed to be a huge success. But that would be wrapping your car. So let me know. A Place at Home car wraps. I think they're great. They're colorful. They're bright. You can't miss them. Myself, back in the Omaha days and when we were growing it at the corporate location here in Omaha, Nebraska, I'd have people come up, knock on the window and say, "Hey, what do you guys do? A Place at Home? That's great." I don't know how many times on a weekly basis, even I'd have people, tell me that they saw me driving. So hopefully I was following all the traffic laws. But let me ask you this. Do you feel like wrapping the car was worth the investment?
Trista, this one's all yours.
I feel like I'm taking all of them, but yes, I definitely do. As awkward as it is some days driving around and people staring at me and pointing and little children laughing, yes, I do think it was a very good decision. It's not a huge investment up front. We've already gotten one client just because of the vehicle. They came up and knocked on my window and scared me to death. But then I realized, yeah, they were a normal person just wanting to know if we did what the vehicle said we did, provide in-home care. And it's just, everybody sees it. You can't miss it.
You just wanted to show you guys a picture of the car here.
From Halloween.
Yes.
Yeah, you decorated it. You have the witch hat.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Because that was all Trista's idea. I was so proud of her.
We have a lot of fun with it. And
very creative.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun with it. And people recognize it, and people in the neighborhood and everywhere. So I think it not only raises awareness for our brand, but the fact that there are agencies out there that do what we do. Some people just don't even know that this type of service is available. So it's, when I was out at this Halloween event, a potential caregiver saw it and asked about it if we're hiring caregivers, which it says right on the back. So makes me drive nicer, better than I probably otherwise would. So that's a pro.
Yeah, all around. Insurance agents love it, right?
Yeah.
Lowers their accident count. Hopefully it
some of
lowers
our staff. Yeah, Elizabeth has magnets that she can put on the side of her vehicle, so not as loud and out there, but we still, some of our other vehicles are branding. But I'm driving that one all day, every day.
Can't miss it.
Can't miss it.
Can't miss
Love it. So obviously, a place at home to you, as you mentioned, it is work. You're running a business. There's so many things to do all the time, but it's also your life, right? You and your company. It is a family affair, especially with Trista and Adam, a husband and wife, if I didn't make that apparent earlier. But, you guys live and breathe a place at home. So, I mean, how do you feel like you represent a place at home brand kind of on a daily basis?
Come on, Adam, take that one.
You want me to take it?
Adam, I see you representing, place at home gear all the time. The hats, the jackets, the shirts, and that's just the clothing that I see. So
I do like rocking the logo. Little things like that, right? But I think especially when you're out in the community and you are wearing our logo, you are wearing a shirt or hat, whatever it might be, making sure that you're treating, you're being a good steward of the company, right? You're being a good citizen. You're doing little things. I had someone, and this is a very small example, right? But I'm going to CVS. I'm going to pick up some medications. This was a few weeks back, and there was a sweet elderly woman who was struggling to put her walker into the back of her vehicle. And I just, I went over and said, here you go. And it was a great opportunity for me to just let somebody see my logo, let somebody see my hat. She clearly needed the help. And I helped her get her walker in the back of her vehicle. She said, thank you. We went our separate ways. Little things like that. I think we have an opportunity every day. And then there's obviously the big things, right? Getting involved at different community events, being involved in the Walk to End Alzheimer's, little things like this that we can do as an organization to, one, be a good community member, but two, also kind of advertise and get the word out about what we do and how we can provide value.
Yeah, community service is a big deal for me. I grew up volunteering all the time, and so it's wonderful that Trista and Adam are always willing to jump in and build a rose garden for a nursing home or do the Walk to End Alzheimer's events and stuff like that. So I sign them up for a lot of things, and luckily they almost always say yes. But that's part of, just being out there in the community, really putting our best efforts forward. And that's what's so great about working for Adam and Trista, because we are like-minded in that way. It is a day-to-day thing that we care about, our elders and the aging population. And it's heartwarming to be able to work with people like that.
Yeah. Absolutely. And although a lot of those community events that you do, most certainly we are getting some face time on social media, as well as in the community. But Adam, I think you said it best. Sometimes it's those things that you're doing when no one else is around, right? To be a good representative of a place at home, the brand, and, or We Are Care values. Holding the door for somebody, helping something, somebody pick something up that may have fallen, and just the little things that I know that you guys all embrace and most certainly, live those We Are Care values. So definitely appreciate that. And let's talk though for a second, because all these community events that you're doing, all the awareness that you're getting out there, it's one thing to kind of walk the walk, but you guys talk the talk, right? You have some amazing reviews, and I just want to pull this up quickly. A Place at Home of the Woodlands. If you go Google it, anybody out there watching, and they have 5 stars, and that is not easy. They have almost 20 reviews, and that is fantastic for a newer company. And I went through and just looked through a few of these reviews just prior to jumping on here, but one definitely stuck out. In this review, first off, they say, this is an amazing company. They go above and beyond what any other company would do. They made sure each worker with my parents was the best fit. My mom has Alzheimer's and my dad falls constantly. They made sure each worker fit that, and every time my dad fell, they were right there with us. They even went to the medical center to help. If I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't hire anyone but them. When we decided to move my parents, they actually helped us find a place to move them to, right, through our Senior Living Alternatives program. They even went with us to ask questions we didn't think about. Adam, Trista, and their workers are wonderful. What an awesome review, and definitely shows that not only are you all, doing great things in the community, but your clients, and I know your caregivers are very appreciative of that as well. But it's not easy to get 100% 5-star reviews. Do you mind me asking, how do you do it? Are you asking clients, caregivers, clients, family members? Are you asking caregivers to ask clients? How do you do it?
I think it's all those different ways. I think that specific review, we worked really hard, and we did work really hand in hand with that family. I love those clients, but it was a lot of work. We worked really hard, and they could see it. But I think Elizabeth happened to be with them one day and just kind of asked, "Hey, would you mind leaving us a review?" I think, right, Elizabeth, you were with them. And I think they gladly did it because they were very appreciative and wanted to have a way to say thank you, besides, of course, paying their bill or the invoice. They really, they were genuine, nice people that just wanted to help a small business out and show their appreciation. So we just ask. And honestly, it's scary every day as a small business owner. You never know what somebody might say on the internet. I'm always on pins and needles and afraid of that day where we get a not 5-star review. So it's luck as well, I think, but we really try to tackle issues head on before they bubble up into a 1-star or a 2-star, right? We want to make sure we know what's going on, and if there are any issues, we fix them, take them on right away, so that we don't get a surprise negative review. So we ask people, we email, we call. Yeah. What's that, Elizabeth?
I'm watching online constantly, making sure if anything funky is going on, I'm just making sure that I'm on top of it.
Yeah.
Well, and you're on it. When someone is writing a review, you are responding immediately. I think something you both mentioned here is being proactive and having really good communication. If there's something going wrong with your service, with a caregiver, with anything, it's better to hear it over the phone than over a Google review. So staying in front of those things, is kind of the best offense is a good defense. It's just making sure you're doing, going through the right steps and ensuring that everyone is satisfied. Because we all know, people are 10 times more likely to write a 1-star review than a 5-star review. So it's just that much easier to complain versus say something nice out there. So congratulations, definitely keep it up on those Google reviews. I want to show one other thing here that I have ready for you. And this is impressive. This is just one example of what you all are doing on kind of a daily basis, right? Well, obviously here today, right? We're having this LinkedIn Live. This is the event that you had for Halloween and the car wrap, the trunk or treat, party at Bristol Park Memory Care Center, fearless leaders out in the community. I saw one with this is great. Look at that. Oh man.
This is my favorite.
That was actually an assisted living community.
I don't take things too seriously, and these guys, they know that, so they capitalize on it sometimes. Like, I'm not afraid of, being fun and having fun, and Elizabeth, we're all just fun people, so we don't mind getting out there. I don't mind making a fool of myself, so clearly.
Well, she lets me video or capture it all, so it's great.
And, I was looking through this earlier and it was showing me much more recent events. A lot of these are a couple months ago, but you just look even in the last couple of weeks and it's post. You had mentioned the flower box. So, I saw through your LinkedIn page, donating and helping to build that flower box at a senior community. And so, again, it just goes on and on. Anybody out there who wants to see, how a successful LinkedIn posting campaign can work, they're doing it. They're giving shout outs to their staff, to their employees at any kind of a community events they're doing, tagging their partners in it, getting activity, getting other people to want to follow and to join in on some of that social media hype. So with that said, though, right? I mean, that's a lot of posting. And earlier, Elizabeth, you had mentioned, 3 times a day, maybe too much, but morning, noon, and night is just about right. But no, I mean, so
consistency. If it's daily, then you're keeping those algorithms up, and it just allows things to be more present. Also, when you use Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, when you start using all of the tools that they ask you to provide, such as taking a poll when you're doing a post, and I think hashtags are okay. I don't know if it gets a whole lot of return on shares and likes and stuff like that. But when you start using specific platforms, exact things that they have created, they like that. And so they'll start boosting you up even more.
Nice.
Which is nice. Yeah.
Good point. How do you find the time? And obviously, between the 3 of you, you have a small army to help with the posting. Elizabeth, I think you are doing quite a bit of that. But I mean, you have a lot going on. Just being, overseeing of social media. That's only a very small fraction of what you do over there. So how do you find the time?
I don't know if there's ways to schedule things, especially through the Meta platform. You can go through and you can actually schedule days in advance, a week in advance, all these posts. I don't typically like to do that because sometimes it doesn't feel as organic. And while the stock images are amazing that, we get to use from a place at home, it's just not what's going to bring in the most engagement and activity when people they want to see Trista's face and they want to see Adam's face and they want to see, the owners of the company or the people that we're helping. Got to be careful with HIPAA laws, obviously, on that. But, other activities that we do. No, I don't know. I guess I just like doing it. so I don't mind.
Here's a TikTok. I've never done a TikTok. I'm a little jealous, not gonna lie. Look at this.
It's the same thing as
very
Reel.
complicated.
It's not. It's not. It's just putting together basically all that is. This is very low scale of what you can actually do. It's just pictures, and they have templates that you can go through and pick within TikTok, and then you pick your 6 or 7 photos that you want to use. Pick the music, boom. Posts, and then it posts to everywhere else. It posts to Instagram, Facebook as well. LinkedIn, I always have to do separately, but I don't know. It's just part of my schedule, I guess.
All right. Well, I may have to give TikTok a shot, or at least somebody in our office should give TikTok a shot.
I'm pretty sure Anna can do it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we have, coming into this next year, so many people were going after the Brand Ambassador Award. We had to make it even tougher. So we have new criteria that we have shared with the Place at Home owners. We are measuring on a weekly basis. We're measuring social media activity, different posts, community involvement, engagement with webinars, if they have their car wrapped. And those are just a handful of some of the things that we are going to be really encouraging, which, everybody already is very, engaged with the brand. But, it was so competitive. We wanted to put even a little bit more difficult parameters around it. So next year, it could be up in the air for anyone. I mean, at this time, and I'll say this because it is a shared document across the system, so everybody can see who's got the most brand ambassador points at any given time. So the last I looked, I think you guys were in the lead for next year's, but you got a lot of people gunning for you. But are there any tips? Any tips for up and coming owners, how to, balance your time or how to, just utilize any of these platforms, how to get out into your community, anything at all? Any tips that you guys can think of?
Well, What's that, Elizabeth?
Chamber events are a great way to be involved in the community. They just kind of do the work for you a little bit, to be quite fair. They plan so much stuff, and we're members of 3. So we're able to kind of scoot around from those 3 different chambers, and in that part I think is helpful. Sorry, go ahead, Trista.
Oh, I would say, like, make sure you have somebody that knows what they're doing. If you want to raise awareness about your brand, you got to have the social media is really key. And since that's not my strong suit, I don't really know what I'm doing or don't want to spend my time on it. You got to make sure you have somebody that can do it, and you have to have fun with it. It's fun. And even right now, somebody's been really creative in the system. One of the other locations is trolling us on Facebook about the World Series. So getting to Dina. So we're there's a little bit of competition there on different levels, but we've gotten to know a lot of people in our community and in the franchise system, and so we have fun with each other that way too. Just be creative, have fun, and I don't know, it's easy, I guess, if you just, like Elizabeth said, get out to events, get to know people in the community, and we tag other service providers that we know, like hospice and other communities, and it just, I don't know, just all help each other out.
Yeah, I think that's key. What we do can be occasionally overwhelming. It's a lot of work, right? It can be sometimes somber. It can be all the different emotions, right? And I think we can forget to have fun, and creating those relationships and creating those partnerships and getting out of the community and remembering that you're providing a really value add service, and you're doing it with a awesome network of other individuals and other companies in your community. Don't forget to have fun. Right? Spend some time with them, break some bread with them, share a libation or 2 periodically, develop those relationships, and have fun.
Those are all awesome tips. And for anyone out there listening, anybody who may be watching this video later, I will say that being a brand ambassador is something that we really hold dear to us. It's just so amazing to have people out there that represent the brand the way that we would want the brand represented, go above and beyond all the time. Being a part of your community, of course, and giving back in all these different ways. It's something that if we continue to have more and more owners doing these things, just the more and more people we're going to help. Along with that, if you can have a few posts along the way to share what great things you're doing, then absolutely, please do it. And all of it, although, we are here to help people, we are still a business. And I will say that Adam and Trista and the Woodlands and their company is growing, it is thriving, and they are definitely in the running for some other awards that can celebrate some other successes, some financial successes that they're having. So congratulations on all the work that you all are doing. It most certainly shows in many different ways. Looking forward to seeing what this next year has to come, and where your social media posts and everything along that line comes along with it. Next week, I want to mention we are going to have our next franchise convention series with Dustin DeStefano and Jerome Phillips regarding caregiver satisfaction, because Jerome had some fantastic caregiver satisfaction. So that's a little sneak peek into next week. Thank you again, Adam, Trista, Elizabeth, for joining me here today.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Congratulations. Thanks for all the tips. And Place It homeowners out there, you better step it up. They're already leading the game for next year. All right. With that, we're out. Thanks so much.